Lewis Hamilton has spoken candidly after enduring one of the most difficult weekends of his Formula One career with Ferrari. The seven-time world champion, who's often known for his calm attitude, made some deeply honest remarks after the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix that revealed just how serious Ferrari's issues are with the SF25. His words not only caught fans off guard, but also sparked concern throughout the paddock, revealing how troubled his partnership with Ferrari has become. From Friday onwards in Jeddah, it was clear things weren't going to plan. Hamilton didn't sugarcoat anything. He admitted that the car was so tough to handle, he wasn't confident he could even reach Q3. For someone who has spent most of his career battling for pole positions and victories, saying he might not qualify in the top 10 is a drastic change. This wasn't just about one session, it reflected a much deeper problem. Hamilton managed to finish 8th in FP1, offering a small glimmer of hope. But as FP2 came around and teams moved into qualifying simulations, Hamilton dropped to 13th. That signaled big trouble. Ferrari had brought upgrades, made promises, and yet the SF25 still wasn't performing. Expectations were not being met, and the car felt no closer to being competitive. When asked whether things could improve on Saturday, Hamilton replied with chilling honesty, "Normally Saturday goes backwards, but there's not a lot of backwards for me to go from where I am." Coming from him, this statement hit hard. It underscored that the challenges weren't minor, they were fundamental problems that were holding him back. He went on to explain that tyre temperature was a massive issue. In Formula One, if you can't get the tyres into the right window, everything falls apart, braking, cornering, confidence. On Jeddah's smooth, high-speed track, this weakness was amplified. Hamilton said the car felt okay on harder tyres, but switching to soft compounds made it undrivable. No grip, no confidence, no flow. What made this even more frustrating is that Ferrari had introduced a new floor to expand the SF25's performance window by roughly 30%, according to simulations. On paper, that should have been a major boost, but in practice it didn't seem to make any real difference. The car still felt unstable and inconsistent, and the promised improvement was nowhere to be seen. To make progress, Ferrari let Hamilton and Leclerc try totally different setups. While that can be informative, it also highlights that the team still lacks a proper understanding of how to make the SF25 work. Hamilton has now said it's probably best to stop these experiments and return to a shared baseline. But the fact that they're still uncertain 5 race weekends into the season is worrying. This isn't how a top team chasing titles should be operating. Hamilton's outlook for qualifying was about as bleak as it's ever been. He said, "I don't know, mate, I'm just trying to see if I can get in the top 10. For a driver of his caliber, that's a shocking statement. He's spent years breaking records and now he's just hoping to scrape into Q3. That shows how far things need to improve if he's to fight for victories again. Zooming out, this isn't just about Jeddah, it's a pattern. Bahrain was meant to offer signs of progress, but instead, Saudi Arabia exposed more weaknesses. The conditions in Jeddah, low tire wear, smooth surface, were supposed to help the SF25. Instead, Ferrari once again fell short. Hamilton is still adjusting to the Ferrari way of doing things. The new car, new systems, new braking, all of it takes time to get used to, especially after so many years at Mercedes. But at some point, the team needs to give him a car he can drive to his full potential. Right now, that's not happening. The effort and the results don't match, and it's becoming more frustrating for everyone involved. This goes beyond lap times. It's about trust. Hamilton joined Ferrari with the hope of winning again, of chasing that 8th title. Ferrari made big promises about their future, and Hamilton believed in the vision. But those promises are now being tested. If things don't improve soon, the consequences could be serious. Within the team, the dynamic is shifting. Leclerc looks more settled and more consistent with the SF25. He's starting to understand how to get the most from it. Hamilton, meanwhile, is still in the learning phase. He's still unsure of how the car behaves, still searching for performance. That growing gap between the drivers could lead to internal tensions. This is a risky situation for Ferrari. A team with 2 strong drivers must manage both equally. If one driver starts to feel disadvantaged, or if the team appears to favor one over the other, things can spiral. And at Ferrari, where pressure and media attention are intense, the risk of things falling apart is always higher. Hamilton didn't come to Ferrari to fight for the midfield. He came to win races and challenge for the title. So far, the SF25 hasn't been up to the task. The upgrades aren't making a difference. The car is still erratic, and Hamilton is left trying to figure it out without proper support. If Ferrari can't turn things around, the entire project could suffer. This was meant to be the beginning of a new chapter, a revival, a chance to finally fight Red Bull and Mercedes. Instead, it's starting to look like more of the same. Another season of frustration and missed chances. That's what makes Hamilton's words so impactful. He's not being political. He's not downplaying the issues. He's being honest, openly saying that things aren't good enough. And that honesty should be a wake-up call for Ferrari. The team now faces a decision. Keep going with their current plan, or stop, listen to their lead driver, and make changes. Because if they don't act soon, the problems could become permanent. They might not just lose races. They might lose the very belief that Ferrari can return to the top. As the season continues, all eyes will be on Ferrari. Will they support Hamilton properly? Will they find a working setup and upgrades that make a real difference? Or will this season turn into another story of wasted potential? We'll find out soon. But one thing is certain, Hamilton didn't come to just participate. He came to win. And if Ferrari can't rise to that level, the scrutiny will only grow louder. The upcoming races are going to be crucial. Can Ferrari deliver consistency? Can Hamilton adapt fast enough? Can the SF25 finally show the pace that was promised? These are the questions that will define their year. Hamilton's voice carries weight, not just because he's a champion, but because he knows what winning looks like. When he speaks, it's because he sees something that needs to change. Ferrari should treat this as a serious warning. They need to act fast. So as we move towards qualifying the race and the rest of the season, remember what Hamilton said. This might be the moment that changes everything, a turning point or the beginning of more disappointment. Whatever happens, this story is far from over. And for anyone who follows Formula One, Ferrari, or Hamilton, the next chapter could be the most important yet.